Hello everybody, thanks for joining me again. Well, I've just walked along to Churston Cove in Brixham just for a sunrise. I've been coming here for a couple of days over the Easter weekend just to see what photographs I can get. I didn't bring the film camera to start with because I really wasn't sure what I was going to get, but yesterday morning I was treated to a fantastic sunrise with the sun blasting through the trees over there, and got some surprisingly good shots. So I thought I'd come up again today and then set the camera up for a sunrise itself. So I'm planning a panorama, and hopefully the sun will be as good as it was yesterday. But you know what happens when you start to plan. Well, of course you're not going to be able to see much in this light. What I've done is leveled the ball head on the tripod and then put the camera on in portrait mode so I can get most of the scene in the shot. And then I've loosened the swivel head so I can move the camera while keeping it level. Then I'm going to take a series of shots overlapping by about a third to a half and stitch them all together, hopefully. But before that we need some sun. So settings wise, at the moment I've turned the camera down all the way to ISO 50, f11, so I can get a good depth of field. I think what I might do is focus in on the hillside beyond, somewhere there, and that will get the foreground in focus as well. And then shutter speed wise, well, it's on a tripod, so I'm going to use the shutter speed to adjust the brightness. But once I've set it, I'm going to take the whole pano at the same settings and then do another one, adjust the settings and so on. Well, there's already some interesting colours, so I'm going to start taking shots and see what I get, because I think the sun's coming up behind the cloud. I can just see it now. So let's get on with this. So this is the favourite of the panoramas that I took. It's made up of 6 images, and with the camera in portrait mode, that allowed me to get everything in the frame. The sun leading into Brixham and Churston Cove, and even the beach. And you can see the sun just starting to light up the hillside on the other side of the cove. So So that's the panoramic shots taken. I don't think it's going to get much better than this, so let's go down to the cove and see what else we can find. Well, I've just come around the cove a little bit and above some rocks here, which I'm not sure if these are going to make a shot or not, but I'm trying some long exposure photography. I've got a 10-stop ND filter on and I'm trying to make a composition of the seaweed on the rocks with the blurred water around, but let's see what happens. Well, I'm trying to make a composition of these rocks down there while the sun's still on them. As I said, 10-stop ND filter, 30 seconds exposure, and well, let's see what we can what we can make of that. Well, I'm really not sure that this is working. So while I'm trying to get this right, let me show you some of the photographs I took yesterday. The first one I took was just before the sun came up. Really liked how the branches of all these trees, as you walk down into the cove, are silhouetted against the sky. Just had to compose it with the lighthouse on the end of the breakwater framed, and then of course up comes the sun and it was an explosion. So as the sun's just rising, you can see what I've done. I've just tried to frame it with these trees. Just lucky enough to get a crow sitting on the branch. And as it rose a little higher, it almost blasted through the trees at Battery Gardens. There was a little bit of mist rising up off the water, which really helped make these sun rays. But always look behind you. So facing the other way, the sun on the trees with the cool background, which is Churston Cove, look really nice. And I've taken the clarity down in post-processing and playing around a little bit more. Those sun rays were just great. Now I know not all of you will like this, but I just thought this abstract shot of the rays coming through the trees looked really nice and summed up the morning. So these aren't turning out to be too bad now. Now I'm trying different shutter speeds and trying not to get them too bright. Let me show you what I'm doing. Well, I'll try and show you what I'm doing. You can probably see the reflection of my face rather than the composition. So I've got the camera set on a 15-second shutter speed, f8, ISO 100. Still keeping the photo quite dark, focused in on the rocks. 2-second timer, just to take the vibration out of the camera. Let's try another one. Well, like the previous morning, I was really trying to create something a little different, not the usual sunrise shots that everybody takes. Now this, I grant you, is a little different. Almost looks like you're looking down on some sort of island with the cloud floating around it. But this is the image I got at 15 seconds. Okay, as it seems to be working okay with those rocks, I'm going to sort of pan around and see what I can make of those. Quite a lot of sunlight on them, but or should I say quite a lot of reflection on the water. Let's see what happens. It's always good to experiment. Well, this first one I don't think works that well. There was just too much light on the water. I've flipped it round so that the rocks come in from the left of the picture, which is a bit more pleasing to the eye. But there's just not enough interest. It's quite nice, all the milky water and some detail in the rocks, but could do better. And this one was a bit of a surprise. The light coming in from the top right that was shining through Battery Gardens, through the trees. Once you've done the 15-second exposure, you can see the light, and the composition's a little bit better, but still experimenting. Well, the sun is well and truly up now, it's starting to get really bright. So I'm just trying one last shot, this time of the beach here at Churston Cove. The beach is empty, there's some stunning light, some lovely colours in the water. So again, I'm trying a long exposure shot using a 10-stop filter. Yeah, let's see what that looks like. Well, the beach is looking stunning this morning. Lovely turquoise colour in the water. Just got to time the long exposure shots right so I don't get someone jogging across the beach in bright yellow as I just did. Let's try and take this shot. Well, our man there might have looked actually quite good with a yellow streak going across the beach and up the steps. But anyway, you can see what I'm trying to do. There's some lovely colour in this photograph, and there's a leading line that zigzags along the rocks, along the beach, and then up the steps. Really nice. And a really nice shot of part of the English Riviera. Okay, I think I'm going to call it a morning. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost anything, and if you give me a thumbs up and a like, that will help other people find the channel. I hope to see you all next week, but for now, cheerio.